Hey everybody, it's Ed Thompson. Welcome to the Y Blast for this week. I'm so glad you're here. Whether you're a first-time viewer or you've been loyal for a few weeks or months, I welcome you. People of no faith at all, people of little faith, and people of much faith are welcome here. We do try every week to look into the subjects of connections and relationships. This is with Single Purpose Ministries, and this is more or less our purpose. Connections and relationships with God, also with one another, and finally, relationships with ourselves. Today, we're going to talk about sharing our faith in order to hopefully be used by God to connect people to Him. At the same time, it's kind of a 2-for-1 because you're connecting with them and you're connecting with God because He's the one bringing them. He's the one that's going to save them or move them closer to Him, the Holy Spirit of God. But oh, what a joy to be part of it, and like a fisherman reeling in a fish. And I know that sounds a little simplistic, but there's a great joy in knowing somebody who's hungry and is eager to come closer to the boat. So with that said, and like I say, not the best analogy, but if you fish, you know how good it feels. Now, we don't do this for the feeling, though. We do this for the kingdom. And I just want to make sure that I'm not coming off today making it sound like do 3 things and you're in. But there are things that you can do that are going to enhance the probability that the person may come back and they may learn to like you. And we're going to talk about one quality today. In the e-blast that you just read, we talked about the what and the why for witnessing or sharing your faith. And we came to the conclusion that there's many reasons, but the question is, how can you own those reasons in such a way that you want to get out each and every day and share your faith? Like my friend from Tampa, Florida, I got an email from him last week. We've known each other for 55 years. He loves Jesus Christ, and he is not afraid to tell people he loves Jesus. The problem, he said, was the fact that people don't want to hear it. And they like him, they want to be around him, but if that name Jesus comes up, then he is kind of left high and dry, not knowing how to get to another point that might draw them closer. So we talked about that. And let's go ahead right now and look at that. Part of it is going to come from the Bible. Who would have thought? And this was in the Old Testament, still is, a man named Boaz in the book of Ruth. The quality, drum roll please. Boaz was a very generous man. He owned fields, and he allowed a young lady and others to glean those fields. That is, to wipe up around the edges and pick up all the grain that was thrown to the side, and yet it was still very good for cooking bread. I say that generosity is being most like God because we can also look in the Bible and see how God was generous with us. And it's a wonderful study. But right now I'm going to stay with Boaz and Ruth and my friend from Tampa by telling you that I asked him, what if you use generosity in such a way that people couldn't resist you? I'm not telling you to go out and buy them a new house or a car, but I am telling them to be generous with your time, be generous with your experience and your energy, and then be somewhat generous with your finances. All of this takes prayer and forethought, because I'm not asking you to go around every day and everybody you meet that you're generous with them. You certainly can be with your kindness, but I'm talking about drawing people closer to Christ And that is one way that people won't forget that you made them feel good. And it wasn't so much what you said, but how you made them feel. Of course, we have these two other sayings that I'm going to say. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And then there's one more down here, and I love this. It says, you can give without loving, but you can't love without giving. Once you get the love of God in you, you are going to give somewhere, somehow. And I laid these two things out in front of my friend over the phone, and he got excited. And then I finally followed it up with the most important. It's not a saying, it's truth from Acts 20:35. It says, it is more blessed to give than to receive. Well, we were excited about using our newfound generosity and thinking of ways where we could get back to one another and talk about how God had led us to situations that He was in control and that we did not have to go out and just be generous. We could go out and be generous in a godly way. That is that for now. I want you to think about that. How might you be generous? And folks, I'm going to say this. The very first Y Blast that I had, I said, I'm never going to ask you for money. So this is no ploy on my part, far from it. I'm not asking you to be generous to me. I'm asking you to find somebody that He leads you to and love them enough to draw them closer. You'll be surprised what they do want to hear when they know that you care for them. Here we are, talking about generosity. Next week, we may look at a couple more great character qualities. Boaz showed a few of those also. But I'm going to say that people are going to know you by your love, and your love is going to be displayed in different ways. Today, generosity. Thank you for being with me. I really enjoy doing this, and I must say, I find myself a better writer than a better video person, but guess what? I'm not doing it to look good. I'm doing it for the kingdom's sake, and I believe God will bless that. So, love you all, take care, and have a great week. See you later.